5 o'clock live. It ain't no jive. Here we are in the hive. Where are you? It's Break On Through. And I am your host, Jeffrey K. Clayton, the long-haired weirdo, the unimpeachable president for life. You can't impeach me. I'm here to stay, and I'm here to say it's 5 o'clock on the dot. Everyone's coming in the house. Everyone's kicking their shoes off. There's Derek Giles, live. Martin Daniels, live. The virus is watching. The virus is watching us all. Well, I probably shouldn't have said that. A bot's going to get me. I know what that means. That means it's Dave Prino, Chris Wilson, Dylan Hiram Thompson. All right. Everybody come on in. We got a lot to cover today. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm going to say, I don't know, maybe you've noticed 2 jars of Break On Through hibiscus brew. That mystery will be solved momentarily. I promise you. To all my friends and family out there that are down, I don't mean just depressed, I mean under the weather. And some, I really hate to say it, I don't want to get too much into it, but I've understood some today to have some just terrible things to happen within their family. I just want you to know that we're all thinking about you. Miss Clayton is down with a terrible, terrible toothache. And she's going to get that fixed in the morning. Get that thing pulled out. Oh, yeah. I have to correct something from last week. You remember when I made the great announcement of me being on the next Josephus and George Jonestown Massacre tribute album of the Motor City 5? I would be doing Sister Ann. But I did not reveal who's going to be teaming up with me on that record. That's a top business cryptid secret. You ain't gonna know that until the main man says it's time. But I told everyone that they're doing a tribute to Nazareth, which they did. It's out. Hairs of the Dog. Well, I gave you the impression that in between Nazareth and MC5 there would be a tribute record to the Naz, Todd Rundgren's band. Which, of course, I'm wondering, why in the hell didn't they ask me to, hello, it's me? I've thought about why I'm not on that record for a long, long time. How come? Answer, there's not going to be one. Naz is what Joey Killingsworth used to shorten Nazareth. And I just thought, oh, they're doing a Naz record. You never know unless you ask, right? Well, without further ado, I'm not going to let you stew. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to introduce to you Anti-Scene's Minister of Propaganda, the head honcho of TPOS Records. He's the star of 8-track cassette, lathe disc, record, CD, video, DVD, and probably jukebox all over the world. You've seen him in Bunny Brains. You've seen him in Broken Talent. You've seen him in Bloody Apostles. You've seen him in They Hate Us. And when you're really paying attention, you see him in Anti-Scene Will you please welcome to Break On Through Mr. Malcolmidius Tent. All dressed in yellow. What a fellow. Get on over here a little bit there, son.
President Clayton,
Great to have you here.
great to be here, man.
Scoot on over some more, son. Yeah, there.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
all those hearts.
Yeah, there's a lot of hearts coming up for you.
They love me.
I remember 2 years ago you asked people just to like you.
That was it. That was it. I remember.
And now there's an outpouring of not just like, but love.
Love. I normally don't approve of love. I think it's kind of passe and not good for the image. But you know what? I'll take it. Let's have some more. Yeah, more. Keep those things coming, man. Bolster me. Bolster me.
Well, speaking of love, let's does everyone out there have their Break On Through brew that they're gonna refresh themselves while they listen to something that's gonna refresh their mind? Well, if you do, pick it up and let's all drink to the late great Charlie Watts. Did you know about it?
I did not.
Charlie Watts died today.
That bums me out like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, it bummed me out.
Charlie.
One of the greats, the greatest ever.
I've often said that of all the Rolling Stones, really the only two I was interested in meeting at all were Charlie Watts and Bill Wyman.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Yep.
Really, Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, great. But, everybody knows what they've got to say. Everybody's seen their picture. Charlie Watts, man, he collected antique guns. He was a Civil War buff. He bred horses. He did something other than just jet set around the world and be seen and be pretty. And, anybody can do that.
Yeah.
Bill Wyman designed his own metal detector. Mick Jagger never did that.
No.
So yeah,
Mick Jagger did get knocked off his ass by Charlie Watts one time.
Yes.
His drummer.
How many people have successfully punched Mick Jagger in the mouth?
Charlie Watts,
Charlie
I know of,
Watts.
and some hippie on Let It Bleed, or no.
In Gimme Shelter.
Gimme Shelter, the movie Gimme Shelter, some hippie.
I hate you. Whack. So much for the infallibility of Mick Jagger, man. Couldn't really do much of anything that day, could he?
Well, listen, y'all can't tell us what to talk about today. We've already got it all squared away. The first thing we're going to bring up is, why you're saying Jeff Clayton, why is Malcolm Tent in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina, when he's usually up in even more so beautiful Newtown, Connecticut? Answer: Anti-Scene is playing live this weekend. Friday night at Ground Zero Spartanburg with Hembray and the Satan Sisters. And what is the other group playing with them?
The Soda City...
Soda City Riot?
Riot, I think that's it. Soda City Riot. I like the name, I just can't remember it, of course.
A lot of people say they're a good band. I'm anxious to see. And that's what's happening Friday night at Ground Zero. Do not buckle to the fear. Come on out and drink a beer. Drive with your lights on because there might be deer. But just remember, when you're in Spartanburg, Anti-Scene is near. Ground Zero. Saturday night, the Tipsy Burro in Charlotte, North Carolina. Doors at 9 o'clock. You know why at 9 o'clock? Because that's when the kitchen closes. Get there before the kitchen closes. It's a great, great restaurant. We've held many a band summit there. And you can be there, be with us. Fellowship hour. And then we'll wait a little bit. Let a little bit of that food settle. And then it's going to be Anti-Scene live. During Lockdown 1, you went outside every night. You looked to the stars. You looked to the moon. And you hoped and you prayed that the day would come that you would see Anti-Scene live again. Well, that day is this Friday and this Saturday. When will you see him again after that? Hard to say, because I think we're looking down the barrel at Lockdown 2 Electric Boogaloo. But we'll see. I hope to see you all there. We're going to have a good time. Nah. Gonna have a good time. All right. I told you this was a mix match of Break On Through and Tent Talks tunes. Tomorrow night we'll do a mashup of Tent Talks tunes and Break On Through. So what has happened is, while I was in here getting the Break On Through studios ready, and occasionally sitting here with his fan on falling asleep, Malcolm Tent was going through my personal record collection. And what he picked, I have no idea. He covered them up with garbage bags. I can't see them now. And what's going to happen is he's going to pull out these, we like to talk about records. So he's going to pull these records out and quiz me, interview me, chastise me, whatever. And you will be the beneficiary of this great entertainment. Malcolm Tent, would you like to take it away?
Don't tempt me, sir. Don't tempt me. There's one thing I noticed while going through your most impressive record collection is we have very similar tastes. There are many, many items in your record collection that were in mine.
Okay.
And that was pretty cool. There's a few things you have that I coveted, but I'm not going to do it. I'm a very well-behaved minister of propaganda. So we're going to stick to the agenda at hand. A lot of bands out there have a hidden agenda. Our agenda is right here on the table. Right here on the table. So we're going to begin right now.
Okay.
And I'm just going to give the people out there just a slight little bit of background. We spent a lot of time together in the Anti-Scene tour van, and a lot of stuff gets played on the radio, the CD player, the iPhone, or whatever it is kids use these days. And, I always take note of the songs I really like, and also the music that sort of comes out of left field. There's a lot of things that this band listens to that you might not expect. And so we're going to zero in on a couple of those.
Can I expound on that for a second?
Sure.
This has been the case since day one. The lineup, there was a pre-dawn lineup, but the lineup that started performing and recording of Keeter, Young, and Clayton, me, all the way to the one that you will see this weekend. Tent, Ward, Hannibal, and Clayton. In that entire time, man, it has never been a group of people that you could look at and pick it apart and be right. You would always, always, always be wrong. We've always been an eclectic bunch. And that's from everything. From entertainment, to politics, to life in general, and of course, the one thing that brought us all together, music. So, and I think that we have all learned quite a bit from each other over these years, because if I'm not mistaken, I think I may be the first one to play that crazy kind of jazz for Mad Brother Ward.
Ah, okay.
And I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think he found me listening to Pharoah Sanders' Karma.
Karma, great album.
Yeah,
Great.
and that may have been the case. I don't know. Mad Brother Ward may come on a show later and say, he's lying, I've always been here. All right, go ahead.
All right. Now, there's one artist that's popped up on the Jeff Clayton radar an awful lot. I've yet to hear you talk about on Break On Through. So we're going to try to overlook, we're going to try to correct this grievous, yet I'm sure mistaken oversight. How is it? I only picked a few here, try to get a representative sampling of the career of the one and only Cher. You've never talked about Cher.
Malcolm, I got a Cher pillow over there.
Oh, yeah.
And Cher stand-up, and they've both been featured prominently on Breaking Through. But I guess a pillow and a stand-up It doesn't mean anything when it comes to records.
No, the music that fills the pillow and props up the stand-up.
Yeah.
And the people should know, I only, like, you can see this stack, right? That's a short stack, friends. You should see what's actually on the shelf in yon library.
I would probably go so far as to say that I probably have more Cher records than any other straight guy in the country.
Certainly more than I've ever seen, even in just about any record store I've ever been in.
Mm.
Usually the Cher section will have, the best of Sonny and Cher. It might have, a couple of these that we're going to show, but you got them all. Every single, including several I've never seen on vinyl before. That's pretty impressive, considering that I'm in the biz myself.
I mean, I think in reality, I think I'm only missing 3 on vinyl.
Wow. Cry.
Mm.
Well, you might as well name them, because somebody out there.
I would have to get my list out. I always got lists everywhere and stuff, and I'd have to remember. I know one of them. I don't have the Believe album. Well, I don't even think it made it to vinyl. Oh, I do have it.
Yes,
I do. Oh,
you do. It's made it to vinyl. He's got it.
yeah. He knows more of what I got than what I got. There's only 2 I don't. All right, you want to ask anything about this?
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, the first one, like, if you're probably going to go chronologically, and I only just got the smallest random sampling here.
Mm-hmm.
I picked this one out. The initial greatest hits of Sonny and Cher, and of course, Sonny and Cher had a lot of albums out.
Mm-hmm.
I picked this one because I remember this record very clearly when I was a young tot.
Mm-hmm.
My father had this one, and I remember if y'all can see the cover, the photos on the front, photos on the back. I was always really confused because, like, I was 3 or 4 years old, and I wasn't sure that it was even 2 different people. I mean, do they not look alike?
Well, I guess that was the whole thing for the Caesar and Cleo bit. They both had the bangs and the fur coats and all. Here's
Yeah, kind
a
of nice.
really fantastic picture of Cher right there in her fur coat. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah, look at that, man.
So you thought it was one? It might be one person.
Yeah, I couldn't understand it.
What about the picture of her hugging Sonny?
Confused the hell out of me.
Okay.
I didn't know what was going on, and they kind of sounded alike, and it's great stuff. I mean, what was this? I'm going to guess your entree to the world of Cher was Sonny and Cher.
Yeah, watching the TV show every week.
Yeah.
Every week. Cher was probably my first celebrity crush. Because that show came on, it started in 71 or 2?
I don't know.
Yeah. No, it must have been 73. I know it was 73, 74. I think they skipped a year and then came back in 76. But man, it was part of the Clayton household viewing.
Yeah.
And,
But I remember that hiatus is because they got divorced.
right.
And then they got back together again and went back on TV and
Mhm.
all that. I remember that show very well. I loved it.
And there were tons of songs that Cher did on those shows. They used to do videos like cartoons, and Cher would sing the song. It would be a song that was hot at the time.
They did Big Bad Leroy Brown that
They
way.
did,
once, I
yes,
remember.
they did, and they also did the song from the Billy Jack movie theme, also covered by, or it was written, or it wasn't written by, but performed by Coven,
Oh,
the Satanic West Coast band
yeah.
with Jinx Dawson and all.
Never heard it.
110 Soldier Rides Away.
Yeah.
They did one like that, and I thought Cher's version was much better. I don't know why it never appeared on one of the albums. I wish they had put out versions of those songs on records. Every 6 months or so. Why they didn't, I do not know. But
Well, now that vinyl, you may have heard that vinyl's been making a comeback lately. I'm not sure if we were all aware of that. But some enterprising soul, who wants to sell at least one record. No, my lips are sealed. I'm like the Go-Go's. Who wants to sell at least one record to Jeffrey K. Clayton, and maybe another one to me, would get to work and start compiling some of that stuff and pressing it on vinyl.
Yeah.
Just saying. So Cher, I mean, she's had such a multifaceted, varied career, and she's covered all kinds of music. So I just picked out a few. If you maybe want to show the people and tell them like about the music that's on each one. And
Well, this one, "Take Me Home," features the song "Take Me Home," which is one of her, in my opinion, one of her best of the disco era. And this was also released on Casablanca. And I think maybe even had some help by Gene Simmons at this time. I'm not 100% sure about that. But this is a great album. Great disco era Cher.
I think this is a good moment to point out a fairly common opinion held by the members of Anti-Scene is disco does not suck.
No. Disco is fantastic. And even though in the 70s, while me and my friends rode around listening to Ted Nugent and Aerosmith and Kiss on 8-track, I did have a Disco Sucks t-shirt. But why did I go see Saturday Night Fever opening week at the theater? Why did I go back 3 more times? Why did I buy high heel platform shoes?
Wait, where are those shoes now, man?
I have no idea. I wish I had them, believe me.
Ramba.
But this one, Almond and Woman, probably not the best title in the world, but it just so happened that around this time is when I discovered, let's see, what is this, 70?
Wait, I got them. The dollar store cheaters. I
Yeah.
got them.
What year? 77,
What
78?
year is that? Warner Brothers always put the dates on their albums. 77.
Okay. A few years before, I discovered the Allman Brothers and decided Greg Allman was one of my favorite singers. And, I heard the Allman Brothers on the radio in 73, but it was Ramblin' Man, and that was Dickie Betts singing. Now, I got no problem with Dickie Betts. But Greg Allman is the one that spoke to me, the kind of thing that influenced me. And his solo version of Midnight Rider, which was all over the radio around that same year, is what really got me going on the Allman Brothers. And you all have seen the Columbia House Record Club ads and stuff. Through that, I got, for a penny, you got like 10,000 albums. And in my 10,000 album, I got Wipe the Windows, Check the Oil Dollar Gas by the Allmans, Brothers and Sisters, Eat a Peach. So yeah, I really went head first into that around that time. And so then, of course, when he and Cher start dating and all this, it's all over TV, man. It's like a power couple, This was as important as Jackie Onassis and Onassis, They were all over everything. And to me, it was great. I got to see pictures of Cher looking magnificent, and I got to see Greg Allman, and, you got to hear him talk on TV, and then they started recording together. And, man, this record gets a lot of flack for the cover, for the name, for the title, to the hard way. But I'm telling you, if you can overlook all that, go inside, listen to it. And if you're like, man, I ain't gonna listen to this whole thing, I just want to give me a few good tracks. Okay, Can You Fool? Excellent track. Let's see. You Really Got a Hold on Me? How can you mess that up, right? Great stuff. I love this record.
I'll just take a side step and mention that the whole thing was probably not helped by the fact that they were married for, what, a week?
Yeah, a week before she filed for divorce.
Yeah, right, there you go. Oy vey. That one I picked out because it's interesting. The thing that always grabbed me about this album right off the bat was the cover and the logo that they designed for Cher,
Yeah.
which, typical of Springboard Records, real.
Somebody at Springboard, I don't know, it must have been like 4:15 on a Friday. Man, I'm going to need that Cher cover. And okay, hold on. Now I got to get out of here at 5 o'clock. I got a disco to go to. And this is what they came up with. When you put out a record by Cher, you're a record company, and you've got the rights to put out a best of Cher, some of her early 70s songs. And this is what you put on the cover. When you could have looked through some more shots of that. Let's see. Oh, I think I want to buy a Cher album. I don't have a Cher album. Which one am I going to buy? Oh, yeah, this one. Where I can look at her picture the entire time I'm listening to the record. Yeah. Springboard Art Department. I hope somebody got shit canned for this one.
Well, maybe they were trying to nail and have a couple of Chicago fans while they were at it.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Maybe they were listening to Chicago on 8-track at the time. Oh, this isn't the reissue. I got to reissue it. I got a 2-album reissue of this one on purple vinyl. This is Cher at Muscle Shoals. That's the Muscle Shoals studio right there. A bit folky, a bit funky. Let me see what tracks on here I recommend. I think she does a very good version of Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. I Walk on Gilded Splinters. Yeah.
Great.
And Cry Like a Baby. Do Right Woman and Do Right Man. I'll tell you what, and this is, I always give KISS nerds a hard time about this kind of nonsense, but it's not like Cher just went like, I'm going to do these songs and went in and go, okay. No, someone picked out those songs for her. More than likely was Sonny. Or Sonny had a hand in it, okay? But some of these songs, I don't think there was a big practice session or something, especially with these Muscle Shoals musicians. Man, they probably nailed it, bam, first time. And, I think a lot of times, and like I said, I give people shit for this. So if you want to give me shit for this, I'd say, oh, Jeff Clayton, what? You think you're Mr. Record Producer from the 70s all of a sudden? Like, you should have been there and it would have been better. What are you, the honky-tonk man of Cher Records? Well, sometimes they didn't have her sing the song in the right register that fit her voice. And man, I've listened to a lot of Cher, okay? It made perfect sense on one of her records. I don't know which one it is. She did the Holly song, He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. But whoever was instructing her, more than likely Sonny, made it go way in her lower register, and it didn't have any emotion. If it had been me, the band could have just played it the way they did. I would have told her, you need to go up a few. She's doing, he ain't heavy. He ain't heavy. That's where she needed to go with it, and she could do it. It was not that she couldn't do it. She was a great singer. She still is. It was just, and sometimes some of the words, the way she'd have them pronounced, and that's all Sonny. You could tell that's all Sonny. And I don't know, Sonny was known as a great songwriter, but he was never known as a great singer. He was known as a great entertainer. Their whole back and forth is what made them successful. And but a producer, maybe he wasn't. I don't know. I would like to think that my decision, that what way I think about it, would have been the way to go. But we'll never know. And I guess we can argue that until the end of time. If we could turn back time, we could argue that, and it won't make a bit of difference. But I do think of things like that.
I think we all do. I probably spend a lot of time thinking about stuff like that. And it's funny you should mention Sonny Bono as a producer and a singer. I noticed you don't have the Sonny Bono solo album in your collection.
No, I was not. Man, I was a big fan of Sonny on the show.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't have the Sonny Migo.
Oh.
I would accept the Sonny Migo, but I don't. But I don't have one. I don't know. I mean, this may have been Cher's decision, but you know the fantastic song from '73 or '4, "The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia." Oh, yeah. Vicki Lawrence from the Carol Burnett Show had a huge hit with it.
Yeah.
That was first offered to Cher.
Oh.
Word is she didn't want to be stereotyped into doing those small town girl gets in trouble, breaks the law, goes bad, gypsy tramps and thieves, dark lady, half breed, you know. But those were some of her biggest songs. I don't know why you wouldn't want to keep that string going. And man, I just imagining what she could have done with that song. That's one of them things that I think about.
You know, I could hear it. You know, when you mentioned it, and I could automatically hear it.
Yeah,
I could hear Cher.
Yeah, I could hear it. I could hear exactly how. As long as Sonny wasn't producing.
Right.
If I was producing, I could hear exactly how it would have been.
Well, that's another note. Cher, if you're out there and you're paying attention, which I hope you are.
I am willing to produce your future records, and I know your voice. I know your capabilities. I know your weaknesses. I will not play on those. I will play only on your strengths. And yes, we can use a little bit of that doubling effect that was used on Believe. So I know you like that. So yes.
There you go.
Contact me here on Facebook. Break On 3. Jeff Clayton.
Very accessible. Very accessible. Well, I hope she's smart enough to take up the offer, man.
Man, me too.
Yeah. All right, Cher. You see, valid artist she is. Don't be fooled. Don't believe the hype. She knows what she's doing. All right, now, it's supposed to be a huge surprise. I think old JC has already seen what I'm about to uncork here, but this is an artist that we can all agree on, and I know there's been some talk about this dude on Break On Through, I'm pretty sure, but we're going to get in depth into some of the weird output by not only the band, but the man, not only the man, but the band also. I'm talking about Alice Cooper. And it's always important to stress that Alice Cooper, big difference between the band Alice Cooper, 5 dudes as a group, and the solo artist Cooper, Alice. And I picked some of my favorite Alice Cooper records, and these are records that people usually don't go to when they want to hear Alice Cooper. So, and I think we've talked about this, the first record ever by the Alice Cooper group.
Man, you and I were talking about the first two Alice. The first two Alice albums are like the stepchildren of Alice Cooperland. They get ignored. I've got friends that are huge Alice Cooper fans, and they look at these two records with disdain, and I don't understand it. I don't understand it one bit. These albums are as groundbreaking and as envelope pushing as anything that came out at this time. Everything they were doing, the look, the name, the music. Some people would say, well, that's not even music. But still, the fact that they cleared a room in less than 15 minutes, a huge room, that the Doors were getting ready to play, is what made Frank Zappa want to record them and produce them and get them on his offshoot label straight. How much input Frank Zappa had on this is not even important at this point. The point is, Frank Zappa opened the door and they got it themselves. So this, to me, this one and the second one, Easy Action, are very, very, very important albums, and I think they are chock full of great material. And I just wish Alice himself would look back to these and play something, live. Let's throw one at Refrigerator Heaven. God. Return of the Spiders. That wouldn't fit in a set today. That would fit perfectly in a set today. Man, wouldn't it be great if he didn't play Elected, but he came out instead and played Reflected?
Yeah.
It's the same song, different lyrics.
Yeah. This is a weird ass record too, man. This record is almost frantic.
To me, it's one of those records that when you start it on side one, you got to go all the way through it. Or it doesn't make any sense. It might still not make any sense to you after that, but when I listen to this, it's got to be whole. I think my favorite track off this album is Earwigs to Eternity.
Mm.
A very short song, but a very bizarre song. And I would also say that when Tom O'Keefe and I started Judas Bullethead, that some of the influence for that came from listening to this album in particular.
Just the song titles alone. I mean, this was the first Alice Cooper record I ever got was the Alice Cooper Show Live, and then just randomly stumbled upon this one because it said Alice Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
I was not ready for what this record sounded like. I was not ready at all. But I love the song titles, like Apple Bush, 10 Minutes Before the Worm, Sing Low, Sweet Cheerio.
Today Mueller.
Like, what is this? It didn't make any sense at all.
Oh, and that song Living, is that not a psychedelic gem?
Yeah.
Like, why is not like held in high regard, like Psychotic Reaction and stuff like that? It's equally as great and a good representation of that kind of music at that time.
I agree. Fields of Regret, I mean, that's really timeless stuff. I've always thought that if this album was maybe produced a little better, because it's got this kind of sludgy, murky, not quite lo-fi, it's like right there in the middle. And allegedly, because Frank Zappa gets the production credit, but allegedly Don Preston, I think, was the guy who actually produced it.
Mm.
And they say he really wasn't interested at all, so go figure. Awesome record, man. And all you collectors, collector geeks, take note. Look at this. This is a real bona fide. That, my friends, is a legit Stone Cold original first pressing on the original Yellow Straight label. These things are rare as hell. Rare as hell.
Do I have a pink label?
You had a couple of these. I didn't look at them in depth.
Yeah, I have about 4 or 5 of these. I got. Man, anytime it's released, I get it. It's just, man. Fun fact, Jeff Clayton. Fun fact. I didn't even have a CD player when CDs first came on the scene, but I knew I would get one eventually. And Rykodisc put out this and Easy Action at the same time, not on the same disc, same time. And those were the first CDs I ever bought at Repo Record. My main man, Jimmy Repo, had those Rykodisc in there, and I bought them. Long box. And I just held on to them until I got a CD player. And when we finally got a CD player, what was the first thing that went in there? Titanic Overture.
One of the creepiest sounding songs ever. Still love that. Goosebump City, kids. I don't know if you can see it. But
Here's what I'm saying. If you don't love this record, you're dumb. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, dumb.
Dumb. Dumbass.
I would have just stuck with dumb. I'm not as full of piss and vinegar, but dumb definitely. Dumbass, dumbass. Why not? Why not? A sip of hibiscus tea to dumbassery. It keeps us going. What do you sweeten this stuff with, Jeff Clayton?
Stevia.
Take tastes good.
Vanilla stevia.
God, I knew it was something out of the ordinary.
Yep. And I also have 2 bags of hibiscus tea and 1 bag of peach.
Ah. See, now people have asked. They have said virtually, Jeff Clayton, what's your secret recipe? Now you know.
I've given the secret recipe on here before.
Oh, where was
I don't know. I just don't talk about it that much. But
it's good. It's real good.
BOT brew.
Mhm.
Break on through brew.
Let's break on through to the Cooper, Alice
Mm-hmm.
period of Vincent Frenier's career. What do you think of this one from the inside?
Man, I love this record. When I first got this record, parts of it made me nervous.
Nervous.
Yes.
How so?
Inmates, we're all crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Look, goosebumps. I used to like to not listen to this when I lived in my parents' house and I was the only one home. Just that one. The rest of it, serious from the inside, rockers. Quiet Room, a very sad song. I'm not the biggest fan of Nurse Rosetta and Millie and Billy, but How You Gonna See Me Now? I loved it. Another sad song. It's very sad. This was all based on real shit when he had to go to rehab for the alcohol. He kept the cocaine secret, way more secret than the alcohol. But that was years later. But Veronica's Sake, Inmates, this is a great, and it's another one. It's a story. You know, it's a concept album, for lack of a better word, and it is a wonderful concept. They did do a visual of Welcome to My Nightmare, which is also a concept. But I'm thinking they missed the boat when they didn't do this one.
Yeah, I would agree.
They did the live show. There's a video of the live show, The Strange Case of Alice Cooper. But it could have been done. I don't know. I don't think Shep Gordon. Maybe if Shep Gordon had a little bit of what Bill Aucoin had,
Mm-hmm.
that vision. He's got to, brother. You got to have vision. I don't know.
I agree, but that that video you mentioned is also great because it's got Dick Wagner and Davy Johnstone from the Elton John band.
Elton John, Prakash John
Yeah,
is on bass.
Pinty Glenn on drums.
Mhm.
And I think Harvey Mandel on keyboards.
They were a fantastic band. What do they call Ultra Latex?
Ultra Latex. Yeah.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, like the original Alice Cooper." These guys were a good fucking band, and the band that played on Nightmare was too, with Steve Hunter and Dick Wagner. So
Yeah, twin guitar attack all the way. It's kind of weird because I remember that this record got a huge push when it first came out. Like there was the video for "Are You Gonna See Me Now?" He was on the Midnight Special. There was a great big tour, but for whatever reason, it didn't take off, and that kind of sent the Coop on a bit of a downward spiral commercially, which meant that like this entire period of albums right here really just about got overlooked. And I'm gonna venture a guess that maybe Alice Cooper fans didn't want him to go new wave. If you could even call it that.
well, you know, he did the thing where he changed the whole look, and I guess
Oh, by the way, that's the look.
I think this is a better representation of the look.
Oh, mhm.
That the militaristic. I love these records, and is it different? Yeah, it's way different, than that. But on this one, it's less the fashion. There's still some old Alice Cooper on here, like the song "Pain." That's old Alice Cooper all the way. That could have been on "Welcome to My Nightmare." "Grim Facts," great song. But then there's "Talk Talk," their cover of the Music Machine. And see, through this, I learned about the Music Machine. See, this is the thing. You grow up in small towns, man, and you know there's not a lot of vintage record stores. You know, everything we bought was new. We didn't have used record stores in the 70s. everything we bought was brand new. And that's how, just when you get something like this, or maybe a Clash record or whatever, and you like a particular song and you start studying, you realize, you look at the record, you look at the writing credits, and realize there's nobody in this band. Well, who could it be? It's from a group from the 60s called the Music Machine, who were incredible.
Yeah.
And that's just how you learn. Like everything my first intro to all reggae came from the Clash, and Alice, actually through Alice I learned about the Music Machine and the early version of the group Love. That was on this. We're at 7 and 7.
Yeah, 7 and 7 is.
Ooh bit, yeah.
You've seen when they played that on, I think it was the Tomorrow Show.
Yeah.
That
Tom
rocks.
Snyder.
That rocks. I don't think Tom Snyder knew what hit him after
And I'm
that.
gonna tell you something, Malcolm. Generation Landslide, this version, Generation Landslide 81.
Yeah.
I have wanted Anti-Sing to do a cover of that version for decades.
Jeff Clayton. Why don't we just do it?
All right, we'll do it.
You people heard it right here.
It's very militaristic. To me, I mean, I love $1 Billion Baby. It's my top 5 favorite albums of all time. I know every single pop. When they do anything different to a mix or something on that, or add something, I hear it. Bing! That version of Generation Landslide on $1 Billion Babies, I didn't know it at the time, because to me it sounds kind of urgent. It don't sound nowhere near as urgent as the one on here. This sounds like the communist armies are just stomping right over you right now. And it's, of course, when we do it, we won't be communist army.
No way, man. It's going to be red, white, and blue all the way.
That's right.
Different type of boots, but you're still going to get stomped. Isn't this great? You people got to see a genuine executive decision made. Just like that.
Right here. And that is how things are made. And I'm telling you, I've told you guys before. An idea comes out, it gets laid on the table. Now, it may lay on the table for months and months and months and years, and then get put into a folder. Off the table into a folder. But one day, we'll go back through that folder and go, hey, what about... But I think with, I'm going to be serious with you now. I think we missed a golden opportunity to work with Scott Savage. And we kind of saw that happening ahead of us. But we weren't quick enough. And I think, I speak for me anyway, I don't intend to miss any more of those opportunities. And you're going to realize that a lot of the stuff we come up with now, it's not going to be very long from inception to birth. So, yeah, I would plan on seeing or hearing this within the next year or so.
Right on. And I'll just go sideways a little bit again topically and mention that we had our first practice last night for the upcoming shows, which you will be at if you know anything about anything. And after the practice, we went through some of the new songs that are going to be on the new album. I think they sound pretty damn good. Like real good.
See, I don't practice with the band all the time. I'm practicing with them tonight, and I'm practicing with them tomorrow. These guys practice without me.
That's how we keep our chops sharp.
Yeah.
It's like it's like when you don't have the singer there, you really got to know where you are in the song. It's like you can't rely on the cues. You can play the whole set through instrumentally, then
You got it.
you're in pretty good shape. And we sounded good last night, man.
I bet you did.
Yeah, you're gonna be happy.
And I knew that some of those songs, they just kept saying something's missing. And I'll be, yeah, it's the bass. Believe me, when Malcolm gets in here and fills those spots, those spaces, it's gonna all iron right out. And I guarantee you that's what happened.
Right on.
Prettiest comp on the block.
Yeah.
Can't believe that one didn't get played more live.
You know, seriously.
There was all kind of visual he could have done for that.
Totally.
This one right here. No baloney. Homo sapiens.
I am the fox. I go where I want. Great
This
stuff.
song, this album's good as shit.
And even that look the at the minimalist Alice Cooper.
The minimalist Alice Cooper. Man, when I saw this, I was like, what the fuck is he doing? He kind of teased this on Lace and Whiskey. But at least Lace and Whiskey, you knew he was kind of doing a character.
Yeah.
But
And this one,
this is a weird one.
that's a
and I
return to
love
the
it.
weird.
I love it. And he's got the song "I Love America," and he's not doing it tongue in cheek either. This album is so good. Look at this picture. Renfield from the Silent Dracula, and Alice as a young man in high school. If you don't have this record, I know a lot of people just got turned off by some of the covers. I'm just like, I don't know. If you're an Alice Cooper fan at all, if you like all the other stuff, even the later metal stuff, you owe it to yourself to go back and give this shit a listen, man. It is top-notch Alice Cooper.
Speaking for myself, I would take this over Constrictor or Raise Your Fist and Yell.
Oh,
Pretty much
any day. Any day. Yep.
Why we get along so well?
I mean, can I tell a quick Alice Cooper story?
Please, please.
I may have told this on here before, but man, you know, it's been put out in public that me and my dad had a rough time, you know, and until the last year of his life when we finally started getting along, and then he passed away. But we butted heads a lot, and that would have probably been because we were so much alike. But man, he used to give me hell about Alice Cooper. I was watching the Blue Jean Network one Saturday afternoon. They were playing The Strange Case of Alice Cooper on that. That's the From the Inside tour. And he's got the liquor bottle, it's a glass bottle, candy bottle, breaking all over the band member's head. He's got blood and got that damn strawberry cod piece. Well, man, my dad saw that and lost his shit. He was just walking in from being out in the yard, going through the garage, and he stopped and looked at it and gave me fucking hell. What this dope, take it. A lot of it I can't say on here because it'll be against community standards. But my mom just comes in, Kim, leave him alone. He was just watching that before you came walking in. He wasn't bothering anybody. Oh, God damn. All right. Fast forward. My dad's going through his, what's it called? The midlife crisis. He's divorced my mom. He's chasing 18 and 19-year-old girls. He's got him a Guns N' Roses t-shirt. Still got the same look. Still got that Conway Twitty. But a Guns N' Roses t-shirt, some neon pink shorts that he didn't care. He didn't give a fuck. Yeah, I'll wear a pink shirt. What the hell are you going to say about it? That kind of stuff. And then one day, I was at his house, and I think I rode my bike or something up there, and I was just like looking. I looked in his car, and I looked down in the seat of the passenger seat. You know what he's got in the damn car? Trash by Alice Cooper on cassette. I was like, wait a minute now. I said, man, what the hell is that? I was like, man, you know how proud of you I'd be if you had Alice Cooper in your car, but you got trash. You got the hair metal Alice Cooper. Like, I don't like this record. I don't like it at all. I got it. Don't like it. And I'm like, what the hell is it? Oh yeah, that's good stuff right there, boy. I'm like, you cussed me out for watching Alice Cooper about 8 years ago. Oh no, that's good stuff right there, boy. I was just like, well, here it comes. It goes around, don't it?
Damn it. Let's drink a little hibiscus tea
Yeah.
toast to the contrarians in our lives. The contrarians. All right. I think the contrarians are going to come out the woodwork when they see these two Captain Beefheart records I've pulled out for discussion. Very, very controversial Captain Beefheart records. Unconditionally Guaranteed and Blue Jeans and Moonbeams. What, sir, are your opinions of these two records?
I love both of these records.
There you go. He said it. It's on the record now. He
I
loves
love
them
both of these records. And I got lots of other friends that are Beefheart heads that hate these records. You hate them?
We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you why I love this one in particular. I hate this cover, but I love the song "Observatory Crest." If that was the only song on the record, I'd be happy with it. See, Malcolm does not like that song. See, I liked when Beefheart went into that way. He did it a little bit on Clear Spot. He did a little bit on Spotlight Kid. But see, those are records that everyone's supposed to like and have, so you can't say anything bad about those. But I love Captain Beefheart's voice and the voice range he had. You know, the sometimes he sang blues and soul, and I was always a fan of people singing soul music, whether they were black or white. I love that kind of vocal. Now, okay. This one I can kind of, I don't know, man. This is a good lazy music. Man, peaches. Throw me a peach out of your tree. I know one of them peaches belong to me. God, that's fucking great. Upon the my own minds, upon the, yeah, that's good. I mean, yeah, okay, it's not Drought Mass Replica. It's not even Safe as Milk. But in my opinion, the Captain never did anything terrible. Maybe he did some things not as good as others, but I love everything he did while he was here with us. And these records, they get my stamp of approval.
Well, all right.
If for nothing else, Observatory Crest and Give Me a Peach Out of Your Tree. Man, that's a great song.
Well, you know what? Maybe tomorrow, when you're a guest on Tent Talks Tunes, I'll argue the opposing viewpoint.
Okay.
There's something for you people to look forward to. I know you might not have had much until you tuned in today to break on through, but now you really got something. Tomorrow, Tent Talks Tunes, the other side of the story regarding these Captain Beefheart records. I'll just put in one little itty bitty spoiler. I don't hate them. I just have a very critical view of them. We'll leave it at that for the time being.
I mean, it's obvious what he was trying to go for there, but to me, it's obvious he was not going to get there.
Right. Well, then we might as well go ahead and say it.
You know what I mean?
Well, with this one, okay, to me, this is like, musically, it's a real good example of 70s, middle of the road, blue-eyed soul. And his voice is in good shape. I just think the lyrics were dumbed down so much that there's just nothing lyrically on this record. I can't sink my teeth into it. I wish this had better lyrics. Otherwise, it would be like a perfect follow-up to Clear Spot. I think on Clear Spot, he totally nailed it with trying to be commercial, if you will. It's just lyrically, there's just not much there.
But you see, in my opinion, I would have thought that Captain Beefheart on these records and some of the stuff on Clear Spot, Spotlight Kid and all, would have had a better chance at being commercial than Black Oak, Arkansas, who was, for one song, very, very successfully commercial. Because Jim Dandy's voice is something like nobody's ever heard and no one's ever done since.
Yeah.
And his was the same way, but he could go into that. I mean, I guess for, like, I don't like the term that much, but that blue-eyed soul thing, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like a song like Too Much Time, for example. Man, that's
Great song.
It's great.
Love that song.
And I think there have been more lyrics of the caliber of that on this. And if you hadn't been on a shit record label, I mean, Mercury was not going to get any hits for anybody. To me, it was just like, it just falls kind of short of the mark. Just a little bit short.
You know what? I'll agree with that. I see that. But there are some bright spots on there for me that won't let me hate these albums.
Yeah. There's live gray area albums from this tour with the so-called Tragic Man. The songs really come to life a lot more when they're played in that live setting.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the other thing about the performances of the music. It just seems really like they were just kind of phoning it in. You know, the irony being that on this one, which I think of the two is one that people seem to really hate the most, I think this one's got a little more spark in the songwriting department. He's got a little more grit with the vocals, and he's sort of like finding his way again. But it's the same deal. It just doesn't quite hit it. You know, The Party of Special Things to Do, almost a great song. Almost, but not quite. Rock and Roll's Evil Doll comes real close, but just not quite. And I think that when, you know, I love Beef. I love him so much that anything that just doesn't really hit the bullseye. Spotlight Kid's the same way. I don't like that record.
Really?
I don't like Spotlight Kid. It just seems like they're sleepwalking through it.
What was the band on Spotlight? It wasn't this band, was it?
No, it was the traditional like Zoot Rollo and I think Art Trip on drums and.
But they were playing the instruments that they normally played.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love Captain Beefheart. I love the crazy stuff, man. When I used to work at Repo Record, when it was closing time, we couldn't get people out of the store. Trout Mask Replica would do it every time.
Yeah, man. That record affected me almost the same way that Pretty's For You did the first time I heard it. Because I read about it in Cream magazine. I was like, oh, okay, if Cream's writing about it, it's probably cool. So I bought it, you know, sound unheard, sight unseen. I was 14 years old. Put on the needle to side one, track one. My smile's disturbed. I cannot go back to your frail land. And I was just like, what is going on here? But I knew I needed it.
Yeah.
We love the Beefheart. We only got a couple more here. And this is more of sort of a compare and contrast to bands that are similar. They're not totally alike, but they're very similar. I love both of these records. I want to know what Jeff Clayton has to say about the Gods and the Boys.
Man, this is all that mid to late 70s Midwest rock and roll. I mean, you can see, I guarantee you, both of these bands opened for Rick Derringer. I guarantee you they opened for Edgar or Johnny Winter, maybe.
Maybe Robin Trower.
Yeah, all that guitar stuff, man. And I'm gonna tell you what, for years I tried to get Adam Neal of the Hookers to cover Too Wild to Tame with the Hookers. I've always, Adam, cover Too Wild to Tame. I can hear y'all doing it. Every time I listen to it, I hear the Hookers. Phil Irwin turned me on to this. Phil Irwin gave me this very copy right here.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
And man, who that was reading rock and roll magazines in the 70s didn't see that full page on the back of every rock magazine that came and went? Well, Casablanca put some money behind advertising this, but for whatever reason, they did not take off. And I think they are a fantastic They look. I think their look and their music maybe don't coincide very well. They're really just a boogie band, like, but they look like a metal band, like, you know. But it's rock and roll. It's pure rock and roll. This one was produced by Don Brewer of Grand Funk. You know, just to give you an idea. I think these guys are great, and I gotta say, through our friends in the band Kiff, they got to know the leader of the Gods, this guy right here, right there. Giving him the bird, don't mean to, out of respect, but that's Eric Moore. And those guys got developed a friendship with Eric, and I am very grateful that through Kiff I was able to participate in a record that would be one of the last appearances that Eric Moore ever appeared on before he passed away. And to Andy and Doug and all those fellas, I appreciate that opportunity. It's a damn feather in my cap for sure. And I think both of these groups are great. And if you have not, man, you can find these records just about anywhere. Anywhere they got used records, you'll probably see one of these. Go ahead and pick it up. It more than likely will not be very expensive.
You can see the price tag on that one. We'll show it to the people. You can see what the great Phil Irwin paid for that. That's $1. $1. A dollar well spent.
Like, see, man, that's the thing about it. You had tons of groups in the 70s that looked like this. But did they sound like this? King Harvest?
Oh, right.
A biker band.
Were they?
But they did not. The King Harvest looked like that. But they did one of those, considered one of the biggest, well, no, not the biggest, but a big shag song at Myrtle Beach. Dancing in the moonlight. That's them. And they look like that. I love shit like that. When I've talked about me doing an R&B project with some other friends of mine at some point, and I kind of want to have this thing going, looking like a bunch of freaks, but playing some sweet soul. I don't know. I don't. Will it be successful? Nah. Will it be fun? Yes. So that's what I got to say about it.
Well, all right then. Sounds like a success to me. That's all I got for right now from the Jeff Clayton Library. Do we want to tease the project that
Oh yeah, come on. We're going to give you a few things before we go. I'm going to say some things right here. I'm not sure what weekend is Muddy Roots. Is it this weekend?
Well, since we're not playing, I really don't care.
Well, I was going to say, if you're at Muddy Roots, now listen, I want Muddy Roots to be successful, and I want everybody to have a good time that goes. If people ask you, hey, you having a good time? You go, yeah. But I would have been having a hell of a good time if Anti-Scene had been here this year. And so when we didn't go, after that, I want you to say, hey, what about Anti-Scene and Rose Tattoo in the year 2022?
Like a no-brainer to me.
Anti-Scene and Rose Tattoo 2022 Muddy Roots Live. Talk to the powers that be. Say, man, we got to have some Anti-Scene up in here. Go get you some nice, beautiful 8x10s autographed to you. From my friend Janice Blythe, the original Ruby from The Hills Have Eyes.
Got mine.
Go to her fan page on Facebook. Look on the Anti-Scene site. They're there. You can get them anywhere, anytime. She's nice and healed from her hip surgery, so she can drive. It ain't no jive. You get your picture, it'll be live. All right. Bobby G. visit my main Bobby G at Digital Warfare Records. Can't say that. Might go against community standards. But he's just put out 2, not just 1, 2 Joe Buck records. Get them before they're out of print, because they're going to be out of print soon. I can guarantee you that. People are buying them like crazy. Now, speaking of records that people are going to be buying like crazy, look at this. Jeff Clayton, what the hell is that? Well, I'm going to tell you what it is. This is a 7-inch lathe cut record. It's bizarre. That's why I like them. Why you got to do a 7-inch? Well, we wanted to pack as much stuff on this, and we have some tracks. I told you before, Malcolm records everything. I'm surprised he didn't record this. Actually, he did. But he records everything. And he records practices. And man, sometimes those practices can be on fire. Especially if it's the ones right before the show. You know, he caught some lightning in a bottle. And he wanted us to say, man, we got to do 4 tracks. We can't do just a track and a track. We got to do 4. But because we're doing 4 now, it's going to have to be a 7-inch. So, 4-track anti-scene hand-lathed record, an edition of only 50. Only 50. I know you're wondering right now, well, damn, you're telling me how many there are. Why the hell ain't you telling me how much they are and where I can get them? Because we don't have that information yet. Next week, I hope to have a mock-up of the cover that I can show you. And at that point, I will start taking pre-orders for the 50 copies that we will soon have. So yeah, anti-scene hand-cut lathe, 50 copies. Also in the near future, another overrun. Only 25 of those. So even though we mass-produce some stuff, we still like to keep the collector in mind. And that's you. And when you watch Break On Through, when you watch Tent Talks Tunes, you get the information as it comes out. It's better than being on Facebook looking for a post, because man, when you listen to the word, that's when you get the info. But Malcolm, it's been great having you here at the Break On Through Studios.
Definite pleasure.
Here in the presidential suite. And, well, I guess we need to head on to practice.
Yeah, man. We got to do some noise for the sake of noise.
See, tonight I'm going to get the old voice out. Loosen it up a little bit. Make sure it's good and strong for y'all this weekend. Be there. Friday, Ground Zero. Saturday, Tipsy Burrow, Charlotte. You know what you got to do to do it. Don't wait till you break on through it.